A mother's love turned dangerous after a paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis led her to repeatedly kidnap her daughter, Eliza. Since then, Eliza has transformed her trauma into strength. Before we speak to her, here is her story.
Eliza was just 3 years old when she was kidnapped by her schizophrenic mother.
I went to Texas with her. Some guy called my father and said, "Mr. VanCort, your daughter's here, and your wife's not okay, and you need to come get her."
Less than 2 years later, Eliza was kidnapped again, but this time it was more than 2,600 miles away from home.
And the next thing I know, we're running across the park, and I'm getting lifted off the ground, and there's a cab waiting for us. But then we met somebody at some sort of stop, and he took us part of the way to California, and it was terrifying. There was a national APB on my mother, and a police car came behind us, and my mother said, "Eliza, hide." So I hid down in the passenger seat, and a cop came over and looked at her, asked her some questions, and then put his flashlight down, and I just saw the look of utter shock on his face.
Eliza's mother lied to authorities and said her father was abusing her.
So I ended up in foster care in Oakland, California, and that was a really powerful part of my life that probably informed the rest of my life.
After decades of breaking down her trauma, she is now guiding women to be brave and to be heard.
When really bad things happen to you, they can break you, or you can use them as an opportunity to make the world better.
Wow. To tell us more about her childhood, please welcome back Eliza VanCort. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me back. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Eliza, after your first kidnapping, I want to just jump in. Why did your father allow another unsupervised visit with your mother?
Well, my mom took me to a park with nothing in her pockets. I think she had $10. I had nothing, and my father thought, there's no way she can just take off with nothing. But somehow she managed to pull it off.
Wow.
All right, I hope I have this timeline right. You were just 4 years old when you were taken to California. What were some of your memories? Do you remember that when you were 4?
I don't remember much, but I have some pretty powerful memories. I mean, some of them are kind of comical. I remember walking through a store, and I said to my mom, "I like those earrings." And my mom somehow got this big coat, brought us back in, and shoved, this was before you had the little alarms, shoved an entire rack of earrings underneath my little coat and took me out, took me home, and she's like, "All the earrings, you get all the earrings." So, you know, there were things like that. But then I also remember when we were hitchhiking across the country by truck, and it was raining, and she wanted to get me out of the rain. And so she walked up to a truck driver. The next thing I know, we're sitting in the front of the truck, and she says, "Whatever you do, don't turn around." Wow. And I heard her be assaulted in the back of the truck. And so, you know, on some levels she did it to protect me, but on other levels it was horrifically traumatizing.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Did you ever resent your mother, and is she still in your life today?
Well, you know, I was a teenager, so of course I hated my mother because usually teenagers don't really like their parents. And mine was sort of don't like your mom on steroids. But as I got older, I realized that she did the best she could. She was just so sick. And unfortunately, she's not in my life anymore because she's a missing person. And she has been for 20 years. Last time I saw her was literally 20 years ago.
Wow.
I just, you know, we look at you now and you're this fully formed adult, but I think about the early childhood years. They're so important just to your overall growth. So was there an individual that helped you process all this trauma?
Well, I mean, first of all, my dad got me a lot of therapy. I'm probably one of the most therapized people on the planet, so that was quite helpful. But the other thing was that I had a big sister in the Big Sister, Big Brother program. Her name was Alice Green. She's still in my life today. When she first met me, I was hiding behind a curtain of hair, and she wanted to do all these things, and I said, "I just want to color." And she sat on the floor and colored with me for hours. I still remember it. And, you know, she was the person who taught me meet people where they are.
I was a Big Brother for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Meet people where they are. Your mom must be so proud of you. This is just this story as a mother. I have so much empathy for you and your mom. How have you taken this traumatic event and transformed it into a way to teach others confidence?
Well, I really believe that bad things happen to all of us. And the question is, are you going to use it to make the world a better place, or are you going to let it crush you? And I decided that it would be meaningless suffering if I didn't figure out how to use it to make the world better. So I wrote my book, A Woman's Guide to Claiming Space, because I spent so much time trying to be invisible. And when I learned how to claim my space, I wanted to teach other women to do that as well, because it was so transformative for me.
Wow.
You are a remarkable human being,
and
Eliza.
living proof you can do it.
Living proof, exactly. Eliza, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. DBL Nation, to learn more about Eliza and her lessons on confidence, grab her book, A Woman's Guide to Claiming Space. You can also visit her website at elizavancourt.com for more. Thank you again, Eliza. Thank you for your powerful testimony. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Wow.